The previous Lubavitcher Rebbe was the most wanted man in Russia. Yechi Hamelech Moshiach. Today we're going to talk about the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe's arrest and freedom and what it means to us today. Taf Reish Pei Zayin is almost 100 years ago. The previous Lubavitcher Rebbe was freed from prison. What was special about this event, which broke boundaries in Jewish history until this very day is an earth-shattering event, is it was the first time that nature completely snapped. An open miracle happened. Obviously we know that when the Jews left Egypt there were miracles, but that's been many years ago and people tend to forget. We're talking about recently. The first time we saw nature completely snap was that time, and since then it's been great for the Jewish people. There have been many miracles in Israel. There's miracles till this very day. Okay, what happened? The previous Lubavitcher Rebbe was the most wanted man in Russia. Followers of the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe were taken away and never seen again under communist rule. You didn't know if your Zaidi died in a firing squad by the communist regime. You didn't know if he died because he was sent to Siberia and it was just, for forever and he couldn't make it. You never knew where he was buried. They barely had a picture of him that was released many years later because he was in jail. The previous Lubavitcher Rebbe swore with 10 Hasidim that they're ready to die for the cause. And most of them did, because that was what was demanded at that generation. The previous generation had physical self-sacrifice, which is not the challenge of our generation. Our generation is a different challenge. It's more about preparing and accepting the King Messiah. It's a different rule. If we can control our emotions and our intellect and do goodness and kindness, that's our job. The fight isn't within us. It's not an external jihad. At that time, in order to keep Judaism, you were risking your life physically in every sense of the word. The previous Lubavitcher Rebbe was the biggest threat to communism because they had an ideology that they were pushing and an agenda that they were pushing down everyone's throat. And the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, just being a religious Jew, was opposed to that and was the biggest opposition. They never seen anyone stand up for something so strong. All the other religions just completely crumbled and became nothing in front of the communist brutality and regime. But this Judaism thing, it didn't stop. People stuck to their Jewish faith. The problem with the faith was it had specific ideology, which ruined communist thing. Now imagine you take Osama bin Laden, for Lahavdil, and America decides instead of killing him, they're going to send him to Iran. That would be crazy, right? That would never happen. Or they would kill him, or they would sentence him for life, Obama case scenario. But they wouldn't let him just go to Iran. That would be like making a nuclear deal. Obama. No, anyway, so that was an open miracle. The fact that Russia released the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, let him go to America, and the Lubavitcher Rebbe continued his operations in America in 770 Eastern Parkway, the big synagogue, and continued spreading Judaism, the Torah, learning, and prayer, and acts of kindness. He made his home into a center where he spread the light of Judaism throughout the world. So this was the first time they had him, they arrested him, they even had papers and they wrote that they're going to execute him. Then they erased it, then they wrote, we're going to exile him for 3 years. Then they erased that, and then they said we're going to let him go to America. According to Kabbalah and according to Hasidic philosophy, according to the secrets of the Bible, this means that the world was refined enough to withstand a miracle of this magnitude. This basically means that the light of God is very involved in this world, is really here, because there are very big levels in the light of God, and they will be able, God's warmth and God's love and God's light in this world is what makes these miracles happen. The fact that they happened means that God's light is here. To understand what I'm saying, let's take the first example of the sin of Adam and Eve. Before they did the sin, God's light was in this world. When they did the sin, the light went out of this world and went to the first heaven. Then Cain killed Hevel. He killed his brother. So the light went up one more. And then the next generation served idolatry. Instead of serving God, they served the sun, the stars, and the moon. So then it went up again. And then it went up and up and up and up till the flood. And then Noah started to bring it down. Abraham started to bring it down in a serious way. and then 7 generations later it came down the 7th level, which is Moses. And then when Moses brought it down, they were able to get the Bible, the Torah, the Jewish people. And then after the golden calf, it went up a little bit, it came down by the temple. It was like a up and down conflict. The truth is the Messiah could have come the first time when the Jews left Egypt, if they would have done it smart and they wouldn't listen to the spies which told them that the land is not good for them and all kinds of things. If they would have just listened to Moses and always asked Moses himself what to do, then they would be good. But because they listened to the spies and because they got influenced by Korach, which was a very rich man, which went against Moses, ever since Tafresh Bezayin, Messiah could be revealed in an instant. I mean, all we need to do is in this world just do it. There's no refinement of the souls and all the polishing the buttons and all this kind of stuff and doing repentance. It's over. It's all over. We did repentance. We polished the buttons. We're standing ready. Everything is good. All we need to do is just take that notion. Okay, Donald Trump is cool, but the King Messiah is even better. Just that switch, that change in the brain. That's all we need, and we'll have Messiah. This has been the case for the last almost 100 years, ever since Tafresh Bezayin, which is the sign of the first time God revealed this kind of level of light, which is in the physical world. You'll have changes in nature, that miraculous attitude. And the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe said, La'alter Legula, which is now is the time for the redemption. And our Lubavitcher Rebbe, the Lubavitcher Rebbe King Messiah, may he live forever, repeated those words and encouraged them. And in the last 2 years that we were able to hear him, completely stressed them and completely told us exactly what's going to happen. He told us that the Arab nations fighting is a sign of the redemption. It is one of the things that has to happen before Messiah comes. Why? I have no idea. The fact is that the Arab nations and other nations are all confused. They don't even know why they're fighting anymore. It's part of a prophecy in the Alchut Shemini. Lubavitcher brings it down as a prophet. The point is that for the last 100 years we could have had Messiah, and we can't have Messiah right now. All we need to do is, in a physical sense, forget about any other kingdom besides the kingdom of the Messiah. What to do about it right now? To learn about Messiah as much as possible. To learn about it in the Jewish scriptures. The entire Jewish Bible is full of it. And of course, to add in goodness and kindness, to accept the King Messiah, to accept him in a realistic way. Basically, my King is God's messenger, King Messiah of the Jewish faith, no monkey business. The Orthodox, ultra-Orthodox Jewish faith has laws, and those laws tell us who the Messiah is. The Messiah is the Lubavitcher Rebbe King Messiah Shlita. He is going to be the king of the entire world, no questions asked. And forget about Putin, forget about Obama, forget about Bibi Netanyahu. Bibi Netanyahu is all cool and things, but it's not the King Messiah. The King Messiah is the Lubavitcher Rebbe King Messiah. He is the man. By law, of Jewish law, he's the Messiah. Game down. That's what we need. We need to install that in our brain. We need to upgrade our life into that concept. We need to start understanding the prophecies of the Messianic age. There'll be no more war. There'll be world's pleasures will be worthless. All these things, we need to start living a life of redemption where there's no jealousy, there's no hate, everything is in abundance. We need to open our eyes, we need to open our mind, we need to comprehend this, we need to sink it, we need to live it. How do you know the Lubavitcher Rebbe is Messiah? So there's laws, there's Jewish laws, and just as quickly, if he's from the house of David, and if he publicized Judaism throughout the world, then he is a candidate for Messiah. And that's the Lubavitcher Rebbe did that. Every generation has one of those. Every generation has one. Our generation has the Lubavitcher Rebbe. There's no one else in this generation that did as great a job the Lubavitcher Rebbe did. It can't be a hidden tzaddik, a hidden righteous man, or someone that, even a revealed tzaddik that helped a lot of people but not the entire Jewish nation. It has to, it's something in Kabbalah. It's called the general soul, the neshama klolis. The general soul, you can't become it unless you are it, unless God already decided it. The Lubavitcher Rebbe is a general soul. He connects to every single Jew. He's a neshama klolis. So it's not something that so much is up to us. It's more about how God decided it. There's only one of them per generation, and every generation's leader will take his generation out of exile and bring them to the King Messiah, which is the Lubavitcher. The Lubavitcher tells us we're the last generation of exile. the first generation of redemption. So this is the game over. He did not leave anyone. He did not tell us about anyone else. He told us that he's alive and well in a physical body. We won't see him because we don't merit to see him. We've seen so much garbage that our generation is not special at being pure or worthy of seeing open miracles. So therefore, so to speak, if the Lubavitcher ever passed away, we're not going to see him, even though he's alive, and God just is hiding him because he doesn't want us to see open miracles at this point. He still wants to give us free choice, the way you can choose and get points for that choosing. Like it says in the Zohar, that there will be a time when Messiah can already be revealed technically, but God will just hold it up just a few seconds, so a few more people can get more merits and get their pants on before Messiah is revealed. Get some, pants. When I'm saying, when Messiah comes, pants doesn't mean physical pants. It means kindness, charity, prayer, learning. That's what getting dressed. Getting dressed is good deeds, and they also protect us. Just like if you take a bunch of pennies and you make a vest out of it, and then no bullets will go in. So too, every time you give charity, every time you do a good deed, it's like you're adding another small little thing, and together it makes an impenetrable protection around you. Long live the King. Wave that Moshiach flag all day and night, and make sure to spread the message. Peace!